Tomer, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Tomer Weiss is somebody that I came across in my desperate search for treatment for my own migraine, which I've talked about elsewhere. And I actually found you, Tomer, on Instagram. You were making videos of your migraine technique, which we're going to speak about in a bit. And it just looked kind of crazy, but also intriguing. And I think it was one of those moments where I was just, I'm going to try anything. This guy, there's something about the way he speaks. He seems like a nice guy. Let me just give this a try. And so I did. And what happened next was quite amazing, because the first time I tried the techniques, they didn't really work. So I kind of got back in touch with Tomer and said, I can't make this work. Please help me. And actually, amazingly, Tomer then came back. You came back to me, didn't you? And you said, I'm very happy to talk to you personally, which was a shock. I didn't think anyone that I found on Instagram would bother to come back to somebody, but you did. And we spent quite a long time talking on a call, and you taught me through some of these techniques. And amazingly, the next time I had a migraine, I tried them and it worked. And that's why I really want to introduce Tomer to you, because I'm living proof that the techniques work. They help me. And if they can help somebody else, then I really, really want that to happen. So, Tomer, can you just explain a bit more about your methods? We're going to demonstrate it in a minute anyway, but perhaps you can start by telling us about what your method is and how we're going to make it work today.
Great. So I call the method the MHRM protocol. MHRM stands for Migraine Headache Relief Method. But if you want to get a little bit more technical, I would classify it as a manual neuromodulation migraine therapy. So let's break that down, what that means. Manual neuromodulation. Manual means that we're going to use our manual techniques like pressure points and a massage and movements and breathing. So it's using the physical body, but rather than affecting muscles like acupressure or massage, we're actually affecting the nerves. So rather than affect muscles, this technique affects the nerves. Okay. What happens in a migraine actually? Let's talk a bit about what happens in a migraine and then how the techniques helps that. So migraine is an overall name for a neurological disorder. And there's actually very different pathways which creates this condition. In some people, it's molecules which are called CGRP. In others, it can be an imbalance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But whatever is the cause that is underlying the migraine condition, the symptoms they experience and the pain that we experience is caused by a hypersensitization of a certain area of the brain, which is called the TCN. This area lies in the brainstem. It lies deep inside of the brain. And because of all of these processes, the migraine aura, which is caused by cortical spreading depression and these CGRPs, etc., there is created an inflammation in the brain. And this inflammation makes this center hypersensitized. Now, this center, what it does is it listens to the nerves of the face. TCN means trigeminal cervical nucleus. The trigeminal nerve is the main nerve of the face. And so this center, it takes all of the input from this nerve, interprets it, and sends that signal, that interpretation to the brain. And in a migraine, this center simply reports pain for whatever it is that it's hearing. So whether it's sunlight or heat or cold or the blood flowing through our veins in the area of the face, this center hears it and then just says, it's painful, it's painful, it's painful. So in a migraine, because of all of this inflammation, all of these conditions, this center gets out of balance. It gets uncalibrated. It becomes hypersensitized. And what we do in the method is that we recalibrate this center. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply various stimuli to nerve endings. This can be by pressure, by massage, by pulling, various types of stimuli. And that stimuli is going to activate the trigeminal nerve and activate the TCN. And we're going to experience it by actually the pain and the discomfort that we feel from the migraine temporarily increasing. So the first exercise is going to be a temple massage in 2 points. And so when we're going to apply this technique, we're going to apply pressure, we're actually going to feel that the pain increases temporarily. And then we apply some tricks. We apply some breathing techniques, some muscular relaxations, some muscle contractions. And what we're doing with these is that we're recalibrating the TCN. We're using a dual-pronged approach. So one of them is called the bottom-up. It comes from the body and recalibrates the TCN. Here we're using deep breathings, muscular relaxation, and a certain way that we're going to hold our face, which is really important. We're going to open the mouth in a certain way. And all of these together, what they do is they activate another nerve, which is called the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is part of the relaxation and the relaxation process of the body. And it has these analgesic effects where it has pain-reducing effects. So as we're going to do this, one thing we're going to do is we're going to have this breathing, and we're going to have a certain shape in the mouth, and I'm going to tell you relax the body. All of these are really important. They're not for relaxation. They're not for relaxing the muscles. They're not for creating a calm and stressful moment. No, it's much deeper than that. These are for activating the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve links into this TCN, and it will actually make all this pain signaling that the TCN is doing, pain, 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 it's going to bring that down. So that's this bottom-up approach. That's one angle that we're going to apply. The second is called a top-down approach. And here we're going to use mindfulness. What mindfulness does, neurologically speaking, is it activates certain areas in the brain, the prefrontal cortex and a few other centers in the brain, and these can affect the other areas of the brain. So when we're going to do this mindfulness, which means non-reactive observing, when we press in, we're going to feel this pain come up, and our reaction is usually going to be to contract, both physiologically and also in terms of our awareness. We're going to this unpleasant, I don't like this, and this reaction is counterproductive. What we want to do is we want to observe it and just observe. Just kind of let the pain echo inside, the discomfort echo inside. And when we do that, we are using the awareness. We're using the prefrontal cortex. And what the prefrontal cortex does is it, from another angle, it tells the TCN, you can calm down, you can quiet down. And so these two approaches combined together with all of these exercises that we're going to do, which are going to affect various parts of the trigeminal nerve, various aspects of the TCN, we're kind of going to recalibrate each one of the symptoms one by one. And we experience it as the pain might start in a certain area of the head, but as we're doing that, the pain will move to various places until eventually it's going to be over.
Tomer, thank you. So we only have a kind of a limited amount of time today. So what we thought we'd do is we would demonstrate to our viewers, I think, 3 of the techniques. And what I'd encourage people to do is try this, but also we will link to your fuller set of resources and all all your website and all the resources that you have, because there's a lot more than just 3 techniques. And it very much depends on your individual pain and the way that your migraine manifests itself as to how that you will apply the techniques. But I can tell you that as someone and I'm sure that so many migraine sufferers can relate to this, that when you are desperate and in pain, it might seem like a lot. It might seem quite hard to do these, and as you say, Tomer, you're going to cause yourself pain by doing it, but it's so worth it, because at the end of it you are going to find something that helps yourself, and to have the power to heal yourself. My goodness, it's amazing. So shall we get to it then? What are we going to start with today?
Sure. So we're going to do 3 techniques, which we chose them because they help the vast majority of people. I would estimate that about 50% of mild migraines and even medium migraines can be resolved with this. It is important, though, to try to catch it as early on as possible. So with all migraine therapies, the moment that you feel that it's just starting to come on, then we start applying it. Right. So the first one that we're going to do is basically a temple massage. And we're going to be applying a massage to 2 points in the head. To find these points, I usually use 2 fingers. You can use 1. But we take these fingers and we place the middle finger right at the ridge around the eye. And if you just go to this corner this upper corner of this ridge, and you slide your fingers a little bit back, you're going to find that there's a shallow area. And then just find the middle of this shallow area. Then next, take your index finger and place it right at the corner where the ear connects to the head. And there too, if you just play around a little bit, up, down, left, and right, you're going to find that there is a place where it's a shallow point.
Yeah.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to lift the elbows a little bit so we have a bit more ability to press in. We're going to open the mouth. And this opening of the mouth is really important. It's not just opening the mouth like that. We want to try to drop the chin. So the opening comes from here. Regularly when we open the mouth, we contract this muscle here. Okay? But when we're dropping the jaw, we're contracting muscles in the neck, and we're lengthening this muscle here, relaxing this area. So that's what we want to achieve. So we're dropping the jaw. It's good to close the eyes, but if you're watching the video, then please keep them open for now. And then we're going to breathe in and out of the abdomen. And now let's apply the massage. I'm going to apply as much pressure as I can, and I'm going to do small rotations forward. Now, if the pain is really increasing, then you can ease off a little bit, and you can do this in 3 goes. You can do 1 go, which is a little bit of pressure, then relaxing, and then pressing in more, and finally doing the full press. But if you can, go for the full press from the start. Press in as much as you can, and I know it's painful. It's uncomfortable. Now we're going to do this now for about 1 minute. And yes, it takes time.
It does take time. Tomer, while you're doing it, can I just ask the people, because the bit I find hard is keeping my arms up like this. So
you don't have to.
Is it okay to sort of have them maybe resting or something?
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem. It's just about the pressure. It's easier to apply more pressure like this.
Good. Yeah.
But yeah, you can definitely do it like this as well.
The key is the pressure and also the mouth.
And the breathing into the abdomen. And now we're going to relax all the muscles of your face. See if your head is like stuck, and try to kind of just move it a little bit. And then relax all the muscles of the face. And you might experience that this is a bit confusing or disorienting, like you're applying a lot of pressure. So you're contracting some muscles, and then you need to completely relax all the others. And in the same way that you might find this confusing, the TCN is getting confused, and that's how we recalibrate it. Now, if tears come to your eyes, let them flow. If anything comes up, emotions, or suddenly you feel like you need to burp, for example, just allow that to come out. Any sighs, anything like that. Just let it come out.
Yeah. And it is worth saying that when I first did this, it was really confusing and hard. And I think I was worried about, am I doing it properly? But actually you kind of do, you say, Tomer, that you know when you've got the right spot, and you do kind of know because you can feel the pain kind of like moving. But I think also for me, I did need to close my eyes. I needed to give myself, I had to watch the video and then give myself time to do it and close my eyes and really try and focus inwards on it.
And it's always best to it's always best to first try this out when you don't have the migraine.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Find the right places, and then when you have the migraine and applied, and then you'll feel that the pain is projecting. It's not just here. Suddenly you're going to feel the pain in the back of the head and in the front of the head.
Yeah, but that was good advice that you gave me, was to watch the video and learn, if you like, learn it or absorb it before I had the migraine. And then that was when I could then, when I had the migraine, it was easier. Still not easy, but easier. And then give myself time to sort of actually close my eyes, do the breathing. Yeah.
Okay, and now we can stop. Now you can go with this exercise for 3 to 5 minutes. I know it's painful, but it's not dangerous. You can't crush your head like this. And now is a very important moment. We sit with the eyes closed and we relax the body. Keep the mouth still open in the same way. And allow everything that happens to happen. If anything comes up, just let that be. Don't fight anything. Just observe. Okay. Now, at this point, you may still feel that the pain has still increased. It might not have gone down just yet, but that's fine. Or you may feel that the pain has gone down or that the pain has moved. And that's very natural. The pain can move to the front of the head, to the back of the head, to the top of the head. And based on these locations, we have different techniques that we do. All in all, I have about 25 techniques, plus their variations, maybe 35 different techniques for all these various places in the head. But what we're doing now is the most common sequence, right? So our next technique is going to touch on two very special points just above the eye. And with this, you have to be careful not to have fingernails, very long fingernails. If you do, you can use your knuckles, but I'm going to use my thumbs. And to find these points, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the thumbs on the inner part of the eye, and I'm going to slide it until I reach this inner corner. And you can feel that there's a little bit of a shallow spot, like a dent inside there. Now, I'm going to show you from the side the angle at which I'm pressing. I am pressing in this angle, in this direction. So I'm not pressing inside, and I'm not pressing on my eye. I'm pressing on the bone in this direction. And then there's two ways of doing this technique. Now, again, we're going to have our mouth open. One way is that we're going to lift our head as high up as we can. We need to get this arch in the neck. And we're just going to press here and again, hold, mouth open, breathing into the abdomen. So that's one way of doing it. The second way is that if you have a table in front of you, you place the elbows on the table, and then you take your chair and you take it a little bit back so you can get the kind of arch in the spine this way. And then just let the weight of the head fall down. Okay? So these are the two versions, whether you have a table or not. And you press in. I'm going to show this one.
It's quite tender when you press, isn't it, Tomer? Is that right?
Yeah. It's going to be very tender.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, we're pressing on a nerve here, and there's also some blood vessels in this area. But the pressure that we're pressing using our thumbs like this, we're not pressing so hard. Huh?
No.
But we are taking the head as much back as we can. And you're going to feel the pain increase around the eyes, behind the forehead, and also in the back of the head. But it can project to any place, and this projection is a good thing.
I like this one. It's quite relaxing in a weird way.
So remember to keep your mouth open. Breathing in and out of the abdomen. We're going to do this for another 30, 40 seconds.
So when I did Tomer's techniques, I actually had to do about 10 or maybe 12. And each one took maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So it might sound like a long time, but compared to having a migraine and maybe having to just lie in bed, for hours or, a day, I think it took like maybe an hour in total. And then when I performed these techniques, what happened was I just felt so tired. And one of the things that Tomer recommends is that you lie on your, I think it's the right side, and then you breathe through your left nostril. And I did that. I lay down on the ground, and I actually was breathing through my left nostril, and I fell asleep like that. I don't know how long I've slept for. I just felt so weary. And I think when I woke up, probably wasn't more than 15 minutes or something, but I was in a deep sleep, and I woke up and I just felt better. And it was just like a miracle, because I'd never, ever recovered from a migraine without tablets and medications before. And I didn't feel completely better, but I felt like a lot better. And over the rest of the day, the migraine gradually went away. And it was just, I said to Tomer, it was a miracle. And that's the only way I can describe it. So I would say, if you're watching this thinking this is crazy, I can't do this, it's too hard, I'd just say just keep an open mind, give it a go. That's what I would say. Yeah, I feel quite chilled now.
So then again, we take a moment to kind of feel that, keeping the mouth still open, breathing into the abdomen. And you are having quite intense migraines. I mean, you know, from my experience, when somebody is suffering from relatively mild migraines, it can take 10 to 15 minutes. If somebody has really severe migraines, it can take up to an hour. And the more we do this, usually people start doing this on a daily basis, and then they don't do an hour. They just do 15 minutes or 20 minutes, like you were telling me you were doing some of the exercises in the car even.
Yeah.
And it becomes a preventive. So they 15 to 20 minutes, and then people just don't get migraine attacks anymore. And if an attack has started, it takes them 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but definitely an hour for the first time for a really severe migraineur like yourself. Then yeah, that can happen. Okay. Let's go to the third technique.
Yes, I'm ready.
So in the third technique, we've dealt with some of the things in the front of the face, and we have I have more techniques which work on the front of the face, also on the top, but we're going to go straight to the back because that's the most common. We're going to deal with another set of nerves, which is called the suboccipital nerves. So we have the suboccipital muscles, and we have certain nerves which innervate them. And this area also is very prone. What we're going to do, and I'm going to have to turn my back to you to show that. I hope the sound will be good. Maybe I'll move my microphone over here, which will be a bit easier. So
yeah, we can hear you. That's good. We can hear you. That's fine.
Great. So what we're dealing with is the suboccipital muscles. And if you want to find them, what you do is you tap on the back of the head, and you hear how the sound changes. You're going to feel and you're going to hear that you're tapping on bone until suddenly you're on muscle and the sound becomes muffled. So those are the suboccipital muscles, and they run at an arc like this. What we're going to do is we're going to take our thumbs and we're going to place them next to the ears. You're going to find that there is this kind of bulge in this area. We're going to place them there. I'm placing the fingers on the top of the head, and I'm pressing in. Now, you can either press in or you can do these round massages. And again, keeping the mouth open, it's really important. This is how, or part of how we activate the vagus nerve, the abdominal breathing, and the relaxation of the face. And we either apply the pressure or we do the massages, and slowly, we move towards the center of the head and a little bit up. And if you find a spot which is more tender, if you find a spot which is projecting to other parts of the head, then please stay in that point longer. Keep breathing into the abdomen. Yes, and this kind of sigh that just left you so naturally is showing that the diaphragm relaxed. That is a sign of parasympathetic activation, which is caused by the vagus nerve. So this shows that it's working. You can do this in one go, or you can do it in several goes, and then the second go, you go even deeper.
It's so interesting to learn how many different parts of our bodies and our muscles and our system are connected to a pain that we feel mainly in our head. But I'm sure I'm not the only one that when I suffer from migraine, it's not just my head, it's my whole body. And it's the nausea and sickness and just fatigue and everything. But everything is connected, isn't it? That's what's so interesting. And okay, my pain might not be felt in this part of my head, but when you're doing this, you definitely feel something. It's so interesting how it's all connected.
Keep the mouth open.
Yeah.
Really drop that chin. Yes. Keep the eyes closed and keep doing the massage. And especially if you feel things happening in your abdomen, the vagus nerve is what connects our internal organs to the brain. And it plays a key role, in my view, in migraines. Yes.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of Tomer's techniques the ones that helped me were actually not even when I had to follow the sequence that you prescribed for me. I had to start with my abdomen. So I actually had to start with a lot of this, so much of that, and then even into my back, shoulders, I remember. And it was a few things before I even got to my head. And that was the philosophy of starting with the body and then moving the pain and releasing it. So it's there's so much in your work. I know that you've been researching this for some time, Tomer, and we're speaking to you, I think, from, is it Tel Aviv, Israel, that you're in? I'm
a bit closer to Haifa.
Okay,
Small
but
town.
I know that you're working there with health professionals, and I'm just glad that I've been able to bring some of your work to the awareness of people here in the UK and people who are suffering from migraine wherever they might be watching. But what should people do now if we've pretty much run out of time, unfortunately? What should people do now if they're interested in what they've seen, if they want to find out more and educate themselves more on your work?
Okay. So first of all, to wrap the practice that we did now, we need to also do another awareness phase of just relaxing. And this you can do on your own. What can you do? First of all, what to expect from these exercises that we did. It's possible that your pain, that your migraine is going to go away or diminish a little bit, but it might come back after a while. And the reason is that we've calibrated some parts of the TCN, but we haven't dealt with all of the things that cause migraines. And as you mentioned, it's a full body event because the nervous system is all over the body. And so in the more complete method, there are more exercises, as I said, about 30, that deal with these things as well. They deal with a digestive system and perhaps how CGRP molecules are transmitted and created and end up reaching into the brain. This is something which is still needs further research. It deals with the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system to bring them into balance. So in general, if we don't resolve everything like you did in that session that you did, it tends to come back after a while. And we can bring it down again with these 3 exercises, but we kind of need to reach back to the source. So if you want to learn more of these techniques, we made a course available for you for this Migraine Awareness week. And you can find it in learn.mhrmprotocol.org. And there you're going to have these 3 techniques and a couple more, a bit more on the theory and how to do things. And in each one of the videos, even the ones that we did, you're going to have much more details. You're going to see exactly where to press. If you're not sure if you've pressed correctly or for as long as you need it, you can learn it there. And the videos themselves are also fully guided. So once you're there, you can play the video and do it along with the video, and that will give you added support. Now, as I said, all in all, there are techniques which go all over the head. So it's possible that your pain moved to another part of the head. They're in the course. There's the mini course that we're offering, and then another one on top of that. There you can find all of the techniques, everything for every point in the head, including the techniques for the back, for the diaphragm, for the abdominal issues, techniques for resolving the nausea and other types of sensitivities, and of course more instructions about how to come back to normal, like this left nostril breathing. And again, this is on learn.mhrmprotocol.org. In addition to that, if you want to contact me directly, it can be because of wanting a consultation, which, by the way, is part now of the full curriculum. You just put in your details, your symptoms, where exactly you feel the pain, and I give you the complete sequence for you based on your specific condition. But if you have personal questions, if, on the other hand, you may be a physiotherapist or a massage therapist, I think it's good to say that my aim eventually is to bring this method to to physiotherapy education, to massage schools, to train people how to do this for others, because this self-technique that we're doing is highly effective. But we can also, there is also another version of this technique, which is performed by a professional, which works the same. I don't want you to think that you're not getting what you're getting from the personal technique. As Rachel has shown, you can do it completely yourself. it is a bit faster when a third person does it. And there the techniques are slightly different because they're techniques that you can't do just by yourself, like pressing on multiple points at the same time, which you can't do by yourself. So physiotherapists, massage therapists, chiropractors, osteopaths who want to learn this, you can also write me at info@mhrmprotocol.org. It's learn.mhrmprotocol.org and info@mhrmprotocol.org. And also for neurologists, we're currently running a clinical trial in the basically the biggest hospital in Israel, testing the efficacy of the treatment protocol. And there is an option for cooperation, and there's other aspects of the technique, like this left nostril breathing and a lot of other techniques inside of it, which we are looking to actually bring into clinical testing and get the statistical evidence for it. We know from case studies, as we know from you and many other people, that it works. And as I said, my mission is to bring this to the mainstream. I want this to be part of every physiotherapy curriculum all over the world.
Yeah.
And for that, we need to do a little bit of work together. So,
well, I think this is definitely the first step, but hopefully the first step of a much more important journey. We will post all of those links and email addresses that you've just mentioned, Tomer, and it just remains from me to say thank you so much for all the work that you've done to put these resources together for the people that are watching this. Please, if you are watching this and you've got comments or questions, and if I'd be fascinated to hear how this resonates with people and whether you have found it useful, and whether you are someone that's a professional and that you think you can apply this, because that's ultimately, I would love to see that as well. I'd love to see people being able to access this kind of treatment, either doing it themselves or with someone else, if that's what they choose, and something that's available on our health service, because goodness me, it's so needed. It's so needed. But I'm afraid we are out of time, but it's been lovely to see you again. We'll catch up again, I'm sure. But is there anything else you wanted to add before we finish, Tomer?
I just want to say that this healing is possible. There's so much suffering going on, unnecessary suffering in the world for so many reasons.
Yes.
And there's no need to have this suffering from migraine. This method can help so many people. For some, it can bring complete relief, like it brought to you. It can bring temporary relief for others. It just works, and it's so simple. You do it yourself. You have your two hands, as you were doing. You can do it in the car, even.
Yeah.
You can do it on the train. You can do it in the office. You need 15 minutes if you're having a super intense migraine, 1 hour. But you can just do it yourself. You don't need necessarily medications anymore. All of these side effects. And I just want. And if you're listening to this and you have friends that suffer from migraines, or if you know people who are even tension headaches can be helped with this. Just spread the word around.
Yes.
Let people know. Let people know.
Totally. And that belief, I think, is also comes across from you so powerfully, and that really helped me, and I hope this will help others, because when you spoke and you said you can believe this can help, actually you have to have that belief, and that is so helpful. And thank you for bringing that to us today, Tomer, and thank you to all of you for watching.